Hi, my name's Dale,
And welcome to Metal Tips and Tricks.
Today we're going to talk about conditioning a bandsaw blade.
What is conditioning? It is prepping the blade so it lasts longer. Now I got to warn you guys about machinery in my household. When you find a great machine like this, that's all cast iron, very cool looking legs on it, you can have a problem.
Well, it's not a problem, it's, well, a slight challenge.
And my problem is, my wife may like it.
So if I buy something really cool and my wife likes it, she can claim it and make it her own.
I don't own a Kennedy toolbox. I bought one a few months ago, and let's just say my wife saw it and said, I like that, so she claimed it.
I gotta be careful, my wife may want to take this bandsaw from me. It's just such a beautiful machine. When she saw it, I could just see her wheels turning going, oh, that could make a great sofa table. Take
Put it into a sofa table or
head of it off. Look at these beautiful legs. I had to cut her off so she wouldn't want this. So what I did is I got really excited about the bandsaw and talked about this is the best bandsaw I've ever found and I just can't wait to use it. So I knew she wouldn't claim it if I got excited about it, and that's exactly what I did. I got up front, claimed it, she backed off, I got a bandsaw. Such a beautiful machine.
But let's get back to the subject at hand.
It's how to condition a bandsaw blade. So what is conditioning? Conditioning is, I want to say, dulling the tooth. These come so sharp that the steel can't hold the sharpness of the edge without breaking off. Well, what we want to do is control where that break is. And the way we do it is cut a thicker piece of steel and cut it very, very slow. We don't want that tooth to dig in and break. The worst thing we can do to a bandsaw blade is take a piece of angle iron or tubing and just cut through it quickly, because what's going to happen is that tooth isn't going to be able to handle that much force and it's going to break up. The other thing is on tubing or on like angle iron, there's only going to be a few teeth sitting on that steel at any one time, and that's a lot of pressure for that blade to take, and that's also going to break those teeth off prematurely and make that break go way too far into the tooth. What we want to do is get a thick piece of steel, at least an inch, 2 inches is better, so we've got a lot of teeth spreading its force out, and we're going to cut it incredibly slow. Now we don't want to overheat it, we just need to cut it very slow and take our time. I just got this bandsaw blade. I got it from bandsawblades.com. Nice easy name to remember. And I have to say, I have never seen a weld on a bandsaw blade that was done so well. Excellent coloring to it. You can't even feel the variation to the weld. And I've had a lot of problems in the past with poorly welded bandsaw blades. So let me give you an example. When they take a bandsaw blade, to weld it, they press it together, it melts and becomes one. Well, what happens when people set up one of these blades to be welded, they set the clamp to push in and it pushes in too hard and will bend the blade up, bend the blade down, or they don't get it up against the fence and the blade gets twisted one way or the other. And it's a real problem. Another thing is what they'll try to do is it'll push it up too much, so they grind it out, and that grinding causes a lot of problems because now your blade's too thin, too weak, and it breaks. What we want to do is just feel the blade, see how it feels. This one here, I can barely tell the variation from where the weld is to where the original steel is. The only reason I can tell it is their grinding stone was just a little coarser than what I'd like. But we're just going to mic it, make sure the weld is good. We're going to mic it right on the blade, couple places on the weld, across the weld this way, and up and down to see how well they welded it, if it needs any work. If it does, you can just take a simple sharpening stone and clean it up and bring it back to tolerance. But like I said, these guys did an excellent job. Now, I'm not being paid by them to do this. I was just really happy. I've been trying to find somebody that can actually weld a bandsaw blade correctly. And honestly, this is the first time I've seen it. So let me put this new blade into the saw, and we'll start conditioning it. The blade's now installed. Here is the magic trick, the magic bullet to controlling these saws. Now, if you have one of those little small, really affordable bandsaws, they're excellent bandsaw. One of their shortcomings is they lower the blade down too fast because it's just controlled by a spring. So you may have to manually control the down feed on that. On this saw here, I can control it because it has a hydraulic ram back here. And I can control it to where it stops, and it will keep this head up the entire time. Now, I wish I could do that. Did I say that out loud? So let's get back to the subject here. These saws, you need to be able to control that descent. Like I said, you may just manually hold it down and just keep it slowly cutting. And again, this is going to be a very slow process. Let's talk about the materials that we want to do this with. Now, I talked about angle iron like this. We really don't want to set up and use. And the reason is there'll just be a few teeth on here. It's going to add pressure, bend the blade, and it's going to cut too quickly and break off the teeth prematurely. Same thing is with tubing. Too thin, I mean, the first cut will be okay, but when it breaks through, it's going to drop and shatter your teeth. Two materials that'll work great is some solid square stock or solid round stock. And we're after trying to get as many teeth across the steel as possible. And that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to chuck in, let's go into the square. Okay, we don't have to cut off a big chunk. We can just do a little sliver here. Another thing that breaks bandsaw blades or wears them out too soon is your vise here. You need to make sure you have the best vise possible that's really secure. If it's not the best, modify it until it is. So let's start this bandsaw up, and we're going to just do very slow cut. We don't want it to jam in quickly. We're just going to set it right on top. And you're just watching it do its job very slowly, very carefully. Listen to how it sounds. We do not want to use any oil during this process. We're using this completely as a dry saw. Now I hear that it's not cutting as much. I'm going to give it just a little more pressure. Listening to it again. Looking for the chips to come off the teeth. There we go. Very slow. Hear that? It's just what we're after. Prevent those teeth from breaking too quickly. And this is the way you do it. So there you go, conditioning a bandsaw blade. Very simple, very important. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Leave me some comments, give me some thumbs up. I like to hear from you guys, and I need your input to make this channel better. Till next time, go out in your shop, build something cool. Thanks.